Well, hi, friends. I know it's autumn, but I thought I'd tell a story of winter. I know. Shut up, Doc. What's the matter with you? Yeah, no. I thought I don't know. This one came to mind. It was in a way it was turnabout on Old Man Winter. You get right down to it. Yeah, in a way it was. Um, I used to live in north central Pennsylvania. If you consult your maps, you've all been given a map. Yeah. You find Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and then look, about 40 miles northeast of Williamsport, give or take, and you'll see a county in Pennsylvania called Sullivan County. Okay. When I lived there with my first wife, Molly, and see, Sonny and Burgess were both with us at that point, both very young. I worked as a boiler consultant. And in a way, I wish I had stayed with that because, frankly, that was a pretty cool job. You got to travel around Pennsylvania looking at boilers and advising people on how to keep them healthy. It was a good job, especially in the winter. Boy, you were busy in the winter, all the time running around making sure the boiler operators were adding the right, doing the right things with the boiler. And Sonny used to call me the boiler doctor. Yeah, and I guess I was. And but you had to make house calls. They couldn't bring the boiler to you. There are no ambulances that I know of that will pick up a boiler and bring it to your shop. And no, it just doesn't happen. So you got to go out. And I know one winter it was particularly rough. I mean, we had, oh God, temperatures 20 below zero at noon. I mean, it was just so cold. And heaven knows what it got to at night. You didn't want to go out and take a look. No, because you might not make it back in. They might find you in the morning, just frozen solid. I mean, you really had to put on some clothes. And that heater in your car was rolling. And one day, it was rolling. I had to go up to around Corning, New York, up that way. And there was, it was funny, there was a greenhouse that needed me to come by and take a look. And I forget what was wrong, but I had to go scope it out. And I'm driving through this snow. Oh my God, snow all over the road. They're plowing it as best they can. They plow a foot away and 4 more inches fall before you even know it. And, that kind of thing. And I'm in this little Fiat. I'm shorter than the snow plow. I mean, the plow itself, they might not even see me if I got caught in a drift, and I'm riding and it's dark. I had a late appointment to get to this place. And I knew that after I was done with these folks, I had to get home, and it was like 60 miles through the blizzard. So I was a little on edge. But it's funny. I went in. I finally found the place, and drove into their parking lot. You could hardly get into the parking lot. There was like 1.5 feet of snow, and they had just plowed. Yeah, and I get out. I grab my equipment. I go walking in to the little flower. Well, it's sort of the office of the place, and the guy says, I explained who, I was here to check the boiler. He said, oh, yes, we've been waiting for you. Okay, well, come on. I'll take you down to the boiler room. He says, you're going to like this. He says, come on with me. He says, the boiler room's on the other side of the greenhouse. What I want you to do, he says, I want you to close your eyes. I'll open the door, and I'll walk you through. And then I'll tell you to open your eyes. I won't let you trip over anything. You're going to love it. I go walking into the anteway of the of whatever room I'm going to go in. It looked like it was going to be part of the greenhouse somehow. I close my eyes. The man walks me in. He says, okay, open them. I open my eyes, and there are nothing but roses. Everywhere you looked, acres of roses under glass, under the greenhouse. And they just row upon row. I would guess I said, my God, I've never seen so many roses. And he says, take a whiff. I go, oh, yeah. Oh, that smells good. He says, yep. So that's what I look forward to every day. I love winter because look at all these roses. He says, they're growing great. They need a little more heat, though, and I need you to go look at the boiler, okay? If you come on with me. And we go walking past the boiler. Past the flowers to the boiler room. I get in there, and whatever was wrong with the boiler, it wasn't too bad. I had to check the water, make sure the chemical levels in the water were okay for the guy, and I explained what he had to do, what different chemicals he had to add to keep the water from corroding the boiler or from building up scale, or in his case, worse yet, water going into the steam, boiler water going into the steam lines and possibly contaminating, maybe somehow or one way or another hurting the roses. And so whatever, I had to check it out. It was a long time ago. And God, let me think. Woo! It was about 45 years ago, maybe longer. And I'm working away, and the guy finally comes into the boiler room, and he says, "You all set?" I said, "Yeah, I think we're all. I left you this info. Here's what you add. This one particular product. Add about another. Looks like you need about another pound a day going into the boiler water. Okay, that ought to do it. I think you'll be okay." He says, "Well, you always give me good advice." And he says, "Come on." And we're walking. Man, as we're walking through the garden of all these, the indoor garden under the greenhouse glass, because you can see the wind howling, trees are blowing back and forth, and oh gosh, you can see snow on the glass itself, kind of just blowing by like drifting sand, and it's dark out, and you can hear the wind howling, and I'm thinking, oh man, this ride home is going to be, be lucky if I live. And I knew it was going to take about 2 hours of driving through the blizzard. And it was constant blizzard that year. Oh yeah, just all the time. The guy says, "I got something for you though." He says, "Look," he says, we made you some coffee for your ride home. You can bring back the thermos next time. You're going to need it. Got a sandwich for you. And then here for the wife. And he gives me this big long box of long-stemmed roses. He said, "There's a dozen of them there. They're yours." He says, "We usually get about whatever it was, some amount of money." Seemed like a lot at the time. And he says, "But give them to your wife." Yeah, I said, "Well, I sure will. Oh God, she'll love these." And so I drove home through the howling gales, gnawing on that sandwich. It was a good one, salami, I think, yeah. And nice old mug of coffee. Kept my one hand on the wheel, one hand on the thermos, and just kept sniffing those roses. A long story short, I did make it home. It wasn't easy, but I made it back. And I go running into the house, and I say to the wife, "Close your eyes, look." Or don't look, close your eyes, smell, sniff. And I hold them under her nose, and she goes, "It's not spring." She says, "That's roses. Where were you?" I said, "I was doing a greenhouse, and they got something like 8 acres under glass. It's nothing but roses." And they were happy with the work I did. They gave me a dozen roses to give to you. She says, oh, that's cool. Oh, she says, "Thank you." God, she says, "That's all right. Well, you want some soup?" I said, "Yeah, I do." Yeah, I got a kiss, of course. And the kids they were tickled. Sonny wanted a rose. Burgess didn't care. And but all in all, it was a pretty neat excursion. Well, I guess was one day winter didn't have such a grip. Yeah, flowers will do it. Flowers will do it. And soup. Oh yeah. Okay, I'll see you later, friends. I just thought you'd like that story. It's and true. Oh yeah, quite true. I'll see you later. Bye now. God bless.